Hi guys, I want to do this video due to a request I got, and the person wanted me to show how to make uh, perfumes, body fragrances, body mist, whatever you wish to call it. Okay, um, but I also wanted to include room sprays into this as well, because it's technically the same technique, not quite the same, but it's so close that um, you can pretty much use the house fragrance as a body mist. So, sounds kind of weird, but I'm going to show you all how to do it. Now, when you are working with perfumes, the perfumes need to be very careful, or you need to be very careful making them, because you don't want to include anything that could be harmful to your skin. If you're extremely sensitive on your skin, then I would suggest doing like a small sample and testing it in a non-conspicuous place on your body first and see if you have a natural reaction. If you don't, if everything works out, then go for it. Um, and you don't want to include so much oil that it makes your skin look glossy either. Um, I've known people that put so much oil in it that it's almost like you're spraying baby oil onto your skin rather than putting perfume on. Okay, so you need to really be careful with how much you use and all that stuff. So anyway, this video is to show you how to make house fragrances and body sprays out of the same product. Um, Now you're going to need your supplies, and the biggest thing you need for a body mist, uh, actually, yeah, okay. The biggest thing you need for a body mist or a perfume is you're going to need alcohol. You need the alcohol because it will sustain the fragrances or the oils that you put into the mix. Um, It keeps the scent going, it keeps it fresh, keeps it nourished, so that it don't start to have an odor to it, so that it doesn't send all of the elements that you put into the mix to the bottom of the bottle. Okay, now I use 40% alcohol. The only reason why I do that is because I don't like extremely strong scents of alcohol. And most of the body fragrances that I make usually only last about a week or two anyway, if you use it on a regular basis, such as 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. So it'll last about 2 weeks maximum. So I just use 40% alcohol, and that's enough to keep it balanced and to keep it going. And so I buy Boru vodka, and as you can see, it's 40% alcohol, and it's been distilled 5 times, so it's a very pure vodka. And it's also from Ireland, and because of me being a hedge witch, or having part of my spirituality connected with hedge witchery, sorry, hedge witchery, um, I'm very fascinated by Ireland and anything from Ireland. So, yeah, okay. So I bought the Boru vodka, and then you are also going to need essential oils, which I buy them in rolls, which means that it's still in the plastic. It's a whole set rather than just 1 or 2 bottles. I buy more than one, so that's how I buy them, and it's maybe about $5 for these two. So it's really not that expensive to make your own body fragrances, and you can put in your own scents and still refrain from having to spend $50, $60, $70 for a bottle of perfume if you're living on a budget. Now, these bottles, you can buy these at Walmart. They're not big bottles, but they're more pure than these are. Okay? So, these I would suggest buying, but if you're on a budget, get those. They work just the same. You just have to put a little bit more in than you would with these. Okay? So, these are just an example. We're not going to use all of them. Okay, so let me set these to the side. Hold on one second. Okay, set those to the side. Okay, so we're pretty much going to make a flowery scent today. We're going to use rose, and then we're going to top it off with exotic sandalwood and Hawaiian mist. Now, a lot of people would kind of freak out about the Hawaiian mist because it sounds like a room fragrance. That's the point. But it's still got a soft, sensual scent to it. It's almost like oranges in a way. It's got that citrus scent to it. And that's going to nourish the rose scent so that it's not so flowery, if that makes sense. Okay. You're also going to need a medicine dropper. And that's to get the oils out. You don't want to just pour them into the mix. You want to, go by a list of how many drops, whatever. And then I have my herbal blend, which I got from my witch's cabinet. Okay, and that's rose petals. And they are natural, by the way. I didn't buy them in like a store or anything like that. They're actual rose petals. Or rosebud petals, sorry. For perfumes, if you're just starting off, I would suggest using fingertip sprayers. You can buy them at Walmart, grocery stores, CVS Pharmacy, any place that would sell spray bottles should obviously have these. Even like Home Depot and things like that, you might be able to find them there. So that's what I would suggest for a perfume. And then for a room spray, I would suggest a bottle that looks like that. Okay. This one in particular is a 6-ounce spray bottle, and that is enough for a room spray because you can rinse it out, you can clean it out, let it sit overnight, and then refill it with another fragrance when you're ready to. Okay. So it's not like you have to buy a 10-ounce bottle because it's the only bottle you're ever going to use. No, you can reuse these. Okay, and a lot of people use that misconception and they throw away their bottles. That makes no sense to me. Reuse it, recycle. That's the point of Wicca. Okay, these are 2-ounce and these are 6-ounce. Okay. The reason why I got a somewhat larger bottle for the room spray is because with a room spray, you're doing multiple sprays. Okay, like so. Now with perfume, you are only going to do maybe 3 or 4 sprays. One here, one here, one here, one here, and maybe one on the bottom of your shirt, something like that. So, and also, these are great if you want to make a stronger scent or a real soft, non-noticeable scent that you can use in your vehicle. That's also a good idea. So what we are about to do, you can use it as a room spray, a body mist, or a car mist. Okay? Works in all 3 directions. There's nothing you really have to change about it. Except for with the perfume, we're going to make it a tad bit stronger by using the rosebud petals. Um, and that's where your real scent's going to come from. Now we're just going to use the oils for the body mist or for the room mist. Okay, so let's get started. Um, so I've shown you what you needed to have. Oh, and for the perfume, you're going to need coffee filters. I would suggest using 2 of them. Um, don't just use one because the oils and stuff is just going to go right through it. Okay, you want to use 2 so that you can get as much of the fragrance as you can to go through the paper without the rosebud petals falling through it. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to let me get the stove turned on, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, and I'm going to have to move the camera and stuff. I'm dropping stuff everywhere, so okay. So obviously you can see the stove. Move my mop out of the way. Okay, so what we've got is we're going to use this. You want to fill it up. I would say fill it up to 2 cups of water. Okay, so we're going to do that, but I'm going to use pure water. So I chose to use Dasani. Going to open that up. Go up to 2 cups. And luckily, I didn't even know that, but this is 2 cups of water. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, and you're going to need a pot about that size. Okay, you want it to be quite thick. Even though we're just doing 2 bottles, when it starts to boil, you might get a few splashes here and there, so you want to be careful with that because it can damage your skin. You just want to be careful. Okay, so we're going to put the water in this. And now we're going to turn the stove on. We're going to put it on. We're going to put it on 250 so that it can sizzle or heat up a little bit while we're doing the rest. Okay. So put it on 250. And yes, this is going to be a long video. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it as quick as possible, but when it comes to artistic stuff like this, it does take quite some time. Okay, for your vodka, okay, we're going to use 1.5 cups, which is right there. Okay, so we're going to fill it up with 1/2 cup of vodka, or 1.5 cups of vodka. Okay, and that will keep it strong. Now you want to put the vodka back into the refrigerator so that you can keep it cool. Some people prefer to keep it in the freezer. I don't, because for some reason it just bothers me. So I keep it in the refrigerator. So we're going to put it back in. Okay. Now we're going to take our vodka and we're going to pour it into the pot. So let's do that. Let me move the chair out of the way and fix that a little bit. Okay, y'all see me? Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to put the vodka into the pot. Okay, and that's all you need for vodka. You don't want to put too much in there because it'll make it stink. It'll be hard for you to make a perfume. You're also going to need a strainer, which is what you put these in, and you just set it down in the center of it, and then when you pour it in, these should stay in the filter, and then the rest of your stuff will go right through. Okay. So yeah, we're going to keep that out. Okay. Now you're going to want a small spoon, such as this, because it's small enough to stir, and it's kind of one that you want, use for just any random food. So you need to keep it away from your other utensils, because once you use something for the perfumes and stuff, you do not want to reuse it for food, because the fragrance and the oils will stick to your pot. And so if you cook food, it's going to go into that food, and it's likely that it will poison you or harm you in some form, shape, or way. So make sure that your pot and the spoon that you use for it and the medicine dropper do not get used for anything else other than making perfumes, room sprays, stuff like that. Okay. So now we are going to stir this in. Stir in the vodka. Okay, now we're going to turn the stove on 350. By turning it on 350, you're going to heat up the heating process so that you can start putting the oils in. Okay. Now, while we're waiting on that, to finish, we are going to work with our rose petals. You're going to get like a small bowl. Such as this. Just any normal bowl will work because you can rinse this out. And you're just going to put a small amount in the bowl. Oh, that's too much. So such as this, that would be enough. Okay, that's all you really need. So it's about 3 tablespoons of rosebuds. Okay, and then you're going to put 3 drops of the rose essential oil into the rosebud petals. Okay. Let me fix the camera so you can watch what I'm doing. Okay. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay. Put the cap back on your essential oil. And then we're going to use let's go with Hawaiian Mist. Okay. Hawaiian Mist. We're going to use 4 drops of it, which will uplift that flowery scent. Okay. Okay. And you'll have to excuse me, my cats are playing and fighting with each other and all that stuff, so it's going to be kind of hard to hear me. So with exotic sandalwood, that's just to keep the fragrance in. It's kind of a stronger scent, so we're just going to use 2 drops of it. And there we go with that. Now we're going to get another bottle of water. And just put a small amount in. You don't really have to measure it. Just make sure that it covers up the roses, the rosebud petals. And put the water back. Okay. So, and then we're going to use our medicine dropper to stir this in. It won't hurt anything. Now, in Wicca, when you're using this as a part of a spell, make sure that while you're stirring it, while you're putting all of your elements into your mixture, that you are focusing on your intent and on your spell, what your outcome should be, what have you. Or else it's just going to be a normal everyday perfume, unless that's what you want it to be. Okay. Now we're going to take a sample out of it. Yeah, that works. Okay. And then just squirt it back in there to make sure that you know it's not too strong of a liquid that it can't be sucked up, because that's not a good sign. Okay, and that's what it's going to look like. It's going to look like a small bowl of cereal. Okay. So now that we've got that done, we're going to go back to our pot and we're going to put this in with it. Okay. We're going to get our spoon, finish putting it in. Okay, and then we're going to put the bowl into the sink. And then you just stir for a little bit. Okay, now that we got that done, we're really going to get started on our oils. So you're going to put 10 drops of the rose in. Unless this is your main scent, then we'll go with 15 drops. So we're going to stick with the 10 drops just to even it out. Okay, there's your 10 drops of rose oil. And we're going to stir that in real quick, and then we're going to put in 6 drops of the Hawaiian mist. Six drops of the Hawaiian mist. Okay, now we're just going to let it sit there for a minute. Now we're going to use our bottle. We're going to open that up like so. And you can take the tag off if you want to, or you can leave it on there. It really does not matter. It's a personal preference. But I think I'm going to choose to leave mine on because I label mine, so the label will fit right over it. We're going to get the exotic sandalwood. We're going to put 1 drop into the bottle to get the bottle ready for the fragrance. Okay. Then if you want to, you can add 1 drop of rose as well. But you don't want to put no more than 1 drop of each because you don't want to overdo the scent because it'll be too strong. That's just to get the bottle ready for the fragrance and get that plasticky scent out of it. So you just want to put your cap back on after you do that and kind of shake it around a little bit, get it up in there. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, now we're going to stir this. Okay. Now we're going to put in 5 drops of the exotic sandalwood. 4 drops, I'm sorry, not 5. Put in 4. Okay. Got that part complete now. Okay, and you want to let it boil for about 4 or 5 minutes. So I'm going to stop this and I'll bring you back when we're ready to put it in the bottle. Hi guys. Okay, so we have officially finished this. Thank God. And so now that it has stopped boiling, we're going to put it into this bowl to separate the rosebud petals. So you get your strainer and you put your coffee filter in it, in the center, like that, and then set it inside the bowl. So it should look like that. Okay? And then you're going to automatically pour it into the filter itself. Do not get it outside the filter because you don't want those rosebud petals inside of your bottle, okay? Because the longer it sits in there, it's going to make the scent too strong. And that's the reason why I am showing you how to do it with a filter. You also want a tunnel, or a funnel, I mean. One that has like a holder on the side of it so you don't burn yourself. You're going to get your pot and you're going to easily pour it in like so. Okay. Okay. And then you just get another filter to hold your funnel. Okay. And then you're going to rise this up. Now, also you need to know that when you do pour it into the filter, it's going to spread out the filter so you don't have to worry about it getting on the outside. So long as you focus on getting it inside the filter, it will spread out for you. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to get our pot. And we're going to jump that over like so. And then we're going to put this in the sink so that we can focus on what's in the bowl. Gets a little hot too, so just set down the pot. I'm going to easily and slowly lift up the bowl and then pour it back into the pot. Okay, and then we're going to put the bowl into the sink. And if you splash a little bit, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay. So now we got that done. Okay. So now you're going to let it cool for a little bit. And we're going to get our plastic bottle. Actually, while we're doing that, we're going to set this pot into the freezer to let it chill a little bit. Okay. Okay, we got that done. Now we're going to take our bottle. We're going to open that up. And you want to make sure that you wipe off the plastic tubing that's on the inside. You also want to make sure that it sprays. Okay. So now we got that done. Everything else is pretty much finished. You just need to wait for that to chill. Also, when you're making the room spray, okay, when you're making the room spray, you don't want to add any oils to it like we did the spray bottle. Reason being, your room spray is supposed to be an odor neutralizer, and when you're putting too many fragrances into the room at once, it's going to just cover up that odor rather than sucking it in. Okay, so you don't want to put any oils inside the bottle. You just want to use what's in the pot and leave it at that. With the perfume bottle, we did put a couple of drops of different oils, and that's fine because it's going on your outfit, it's going on your body, and it's not going to hurt you. Okay, hopefully. Like I said, make sure you do like a little sample testing or something like that. Okay. in the life of a witch. And I mean, you can also, if you chose to, um, make these to sell. I sell them from my own home. Uh, People tell me what their favorite scent is, and I kind of work with different fragrances to make that scent, and then I put it into either a perfume or a room fragrance or a car fragrance. Those are the three things I specialize in. Okay, and the car fragrance is totally different, so that's the reason why I didn't include that into this video. I just wanted to touch base with the easiest part, which is body fragrances and house fragrances. Okay. So now that's been chilling for a few minutes. So let's take it out and let's get started. Okay, and it's still a little steamy. So when you decide to go ahead and put it into the bottle, make sure that you automatically, after you fill up the bottle, put it in the freezer. Okay, it's not going to freeze. It's just going to keep it cool. Leave it in there about 30 minutes, and then you can take it out and use it. So now you're going to get your funnel and make sure that you have, you know, like all of the excess rosebud petals out of it and stuff, because you really don't want that in your bottle. Okay. Then you're going to stick that into the bottle like so. Okay. Oh, just about spilled it. Okay, so you're going to stick that in there, make sure it's stuck nice and tight in there. Okay. You're going to take your oil, and it's best, I guess, honestly, to hold it from the bottom of the funnel and then use the rest of your hand to hold the bottle itself. Okay? Because you don't want it falling out or anything like that. So you just hold it just like that. And there we go. Now you want to wipe off the funnel, wipe the inside of it with a paper towel or a washcloth, whichever one. I simply don't use washcloths because I use them for my dishes and stuff, and I really don't want to put this fragrance on my dishes. So that's the reason why I use paper towels, because I can quickly and easily throw it away. Okay. And there's your bottle of perfume. And you want to keep a good inch and a half space in your bottle, because when you put the top of it on, you don't want it to overflow. Okay? There you go. There's your perfume oil. So you're just going to put that on. Make sure it's as tight as you can possibly get it without breaking the bottle. And you're just going to shake it for a little bit. And there you go. That's your perfume oil. If you have the bubbly white at the top, That's a good sign. That shows that you have enough oil in there and enough chemicals to keep it saturated, to keep it functioning. So even if you had this sitting on your bathroom counter for 9 months, if you still have some in there, it's going to smell the same as when you first made it. And you want to stick that automatically into the freezer. Okay. And now with the room spray, like I said, don't put any fragrance in there whatsoever. You want to keep that plasticky smell. What you have in here will automatically overdo that because you don't stick the room fragrance in the freezer. Okay, you don't want to make it as strong as the perfume. So we're just going to put that in. And the same with the perfume. You want to keep a little bit of a space in there because of the top. Okay, you don't want it to overflow because it would create a huge ass mess. So, okay. So now we got that done. And if you get that pinkish color like what you see here, that shows that you have enough rose fragrance in there. Because it automatically, if you have enough rose in there, it will automatically give it a pinkish dye color. Okay? Like I said, you don't want to keep this in the freezer. Just shake it. And keep it to the side. This one, you put in the freezer. So there's your room spray and your perfume. It's really not that difficult. It just takes some time and a little work with chemicals and fragrances. It's actually quite fun once you get used to it. So yeah, that is your Kama. That's what I call it, Kama, which is K-A-M-A. That's the name of the fragrance that I make. And so yeah, I hope this helped you. I hope you enjoy doing it. And I hope it becomes a hobby for you, the same as it does for me. So may the goddess and the god be forever in your heart. I love you all, and blessed be.